Hey, this is Coach Bill at 305, and we are doing a backpacking slash trip video. So this is a different style of video that I typically do, and this is something that I'm planning on doing more often. So I'm going to be talking about the gear inside this pack, but I'm also going to display it through a trip video. So each weekend I go backpacking, and I like to try to dial in my backpacking system. And what I plan on doing is taking this pack up to Trail Mountain, which is on the Appalachian Trail, and this weighs about 9.7 pounds. And when I took it out there, it weighed about, I think, like 16 pounds total. That's with the food and water. And I want to get a nice gear video because I'm actually planning on doing a nice little 100 section mile backpacking trip through the Appalachian Trail, and I want to make sure that all my stuff is dialed in. So that's why I make these videos, and hopefully you guys can actually learn something through this video as well. And if you like this style of video, like where I'm talking about the gear, and if you just want to actually skip to the very end to actually kind of figure out what worked and what didn't work, go for it. Okay, I appreciate you just tuning in. Again, this is Coach Bill 305.
Yeah, buddy.
Alright, so we officially found camp, and I'm going to be setting up my stuff right here. And we had a nice little hike. We did, I don't know, maybe a total of like 6 miles. Hiked up to Trail Mountain, and then we decided that there were so many people up there because it's Thru-Hiker season, so we decided to come back down to, I think this is like Indian Grove or Grassy Grove or something like that. But we are going to be setting up the Pleximid, and this thing weighs about 12 ounces. It's ultra light, and we're going to see how fast I can actually set this up. I'm trying to get all my tent stakes out right now. Alright, so the timer is at, I don't know if the camera's picking this up. It's about 9, we'll just call that 9:10, okay? Alright. And this is one of the reasons why I love this tent, because it is so simple to set up. So I'm gonna just undo this, and man, I'm a little rusty. Can't even find the opening. I'm gonna keep the little bag inside. Oh, I grabbed the wrong tent. Okay, well, looks like I'm using my old Pleximid. Well, that's a bummer. I was trying to test out new equipment on this trip, and I grabbed the wrong tent. Good thing is that this is still a great tent, and I think this one weighs about 14 ounces. Still an ultralight tent. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stake out the sides first before actually setting up the middle part. And what I'm looking for is I'm going to give it a little slack, and I'm not really making it super tight. I'm just putting them into the ground with the intentions that I'm going to change everything. And we're at 9:11 right now, so we're about 1 minute in. Actually, a minute and a half in. And I love this tent right here. I've actually taken this one on a lot of my long hikes. But I was hoping to use the other, my new tent, the Plex Solo. But this is what I have to do for now. So I just put in main tent pole. And this is where I'm going to start making everything kind of tension down. And I like this method of setting up your tent, because on windy nights, the other ways I've seen online, your tent can actually fly away. It just moves a lot more. So you can kind of see that everything's kind of loose. Now I start pulling off the sides. Now I start to make the adjustments that I need to. All right, cinch that down. Cinch all the sides down. Man, I really do miss this tent. Maybe I should take this next weekend on my long hike that I plan on doing. I plan on doing 100 miles next week on the AT. So I like to do these weekend trips. I can go ahead and dial in my system. So that right there is a perfect pitch. And we're looking at 9, 13, and 40, 50 seconds. Not too bad. Okay, so I plan on using an air mattress. And I figured that this is probably going to be the best solution for this trip that I have coming up. So we're going to go ahead and deploy everything. With my clothes and stuff, I typically just throw them off to the side for now. With no like means of like keeping it super organized. It's just everything goes off to the side. And right here is my Neil Air Thermal mattress. Has an R value of I think like 3.4. This is the older model. It weighs about 12 ounces more or less. I really like it. But after a long day of hiking, I want to use an air pump. So I have different adapters on this because I have different air mattresses. But all I'm going to do is just take this, slide this on, and then I just hit this power button. And I'll let that blow up, and then I can go hang my bear line and get ready for tonight. All right, so I don't know if you guys can actually see the tree that I'm going to be hanging on, throwing my bear line, but yeah, kind of need a rock. I really like using like a branch or something, so I'm going to go find a branch real fast, and then we can go ahead and hang my my bear line. All right, couldn't find a branch, but I found this rock, and I'm not going to search too long. Still got my stuff blowing up, so I just want to do this kind of fast. So tying up this rock, kind of crisscrossing, so when I toss it, it still kind of hangs on. And I'm just going to give a nice little toss. You don't want to throw it too high, because then you're going to end up like chasing after a rock, or if someone was over there, you could potentially hit someone. But it's at nighttime, there's no one around. I'm not too concerned, but I'm just going to go ahead and toss this right over this part. And I missed. Good thing is, it's still on the string, and let's go ahead and do it again. Make sure my foot's not, oh my gosh, I am horrible, but it still worked. Jeez. All right, so I got this all taken care of, and I'm just going to tie this off over here on this part of the tree so I'm nice and ready after I get done and eat, and I'll come back and I'll hang my bear bag afterwards. Do this with one hand. Yeah, buddy. It's somewhere up there. Trust me. Alright, so I'm back at the tent, and I'm checking out this right here. This looks fully inflated, so I'll just turn this thing off, and we can go ahead and set everything else up. Put this away. I think I'm gonna have to recharge my headlamp tonight because I didn't charge it over the week, and it's still kind of weak from last time I used it, which was last weekend. Well, I'm gonna deploy my sleeping bag, get my extra clothes out of here, have my little sit pad, my dirty water that I picked up from earlier. Then I'll just slide my camp shoes underneath my tent so they don't fly away. Grab my extra water, put it right there, and I like to put my sleeping bag, geez, I can't think right now. My backpack right underneath my top, I like to put my pack right underneath my top of my air pad, because this will kind of give me more of a slope when I'm sleeping once I put my pillow. But this is my setup that I typically use, and this should keep me warm and comfortable, hopefully. Cross my fingers. So I'm testing out my new battery connections. So I'm gonna plug this in right here, and then I'm still gonna use my adapter, put this on the back side, and then I'm gonna charge my headlamp for about 20 minutes and try to get this thing a little bit brighter. It looks like it's getting ready to die. There we go. Got the red light going. Looks like we should be good to go. Alright, so it looks like we got a boil. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my famous freeze-dried meal by putting in some hot water right in here. Oh, let me go ahead and move this around a little bit, but that looks pretty good. You don't want it too soupy. Then I'll take this, I'll put it into the Big Sky International. Big fan of this thing. Only weighs like 1.5 ounces. And it's reusable. Then I just take my food and I'll store it in here for about 10 minutes. And I should have a nice little warm, hydrated meal. Alright, well, it's about that time. And I am tired. Well, you can kind of see how I have my pillow, and it's the reason why this is working so well is because I have my backpack underneath, and it gives me that extra, like, that feeling like how I like to sleep with my head just tilted up just a little bit more. But I'm tired, so I hung up the bear line, filtering some water, so I should have some water by tomorrow morning. And yeah, it's gonna be a good night. It's like 11:30. I'm tired. Well, good night, y'all, and I'll see you in the morning. Yeah, buddy.
Jealous of you?
So just got back from that rainy trip, coming back out of camp, and I want to point out this. So you can see my shirt, pretty wet, this dry fit, typical, feels kind of heavy, but this right here, oh yeah. So yeah, you can kind of Kind of see the difference in the shirt. Kind of sticky. But these pants, they're feeling pretty good. Like, they're not sticking to my legs. And like, I still got that kind of like elastic still working up here, so they're not keeping on falling down. They're still like stuck on my leg. And this is after 2 hours hiking in the rain. And whew, like, I almost feel like I'm MC Hammer with these pants. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. But yeah, these are pretty awesome right here. So just another reason why I'm rocking these things, and pretty stoked that I test them out in the rain. Yeah, buddy. So you just watched the whole video, my backpacking trip up to Trade Mountain. And now we are going to take a look inside the pack and kind of go over each piece of gear and tell you like if I should bring it or not. I am going on a long hike this coming week, which I'm planning on doing 100 miles. So each weekend I should say, I go backpacking and try to test out different equipment to figure out what's the best fit for me. So this trip that I'm going on, it's going to be 100 miles on the Appalachian Trail. And on Tuesday, there's a chance of snow. So I'm trying to take that into a factor when I'm picking out my gear. I can't go ultra light. I mean, this is still pretty ultra light. I think this pack weighs about 9.7 pounds. I think with food and water, it was running about 16 pounds altogether. So on the outside of my pack, I keep some rain pants. These are Enlighten Equiment. These weigh about like 1.5 pounds. I actually use these as more of like a wind protection, and it keeps you warm. Now, I do get wet in these, but on this trip, I actually didn't wear them because I was testing out the Octa, the Z-Pack Octa pants. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video. So on the outside, I also keep my rain jacket, Zpacks rain jacket. I always bring this, and I always keep them on the outside of my pack because when it does rain, when I do feel like I need it, or if I need that extra warmth, I don't want to open up my pack and expose the elements and have rain get inside my pack. So I like to keep this sealed up for as long as possible. Same thing with my food. I like to keep it on the outside of my pack, like the stuff that I'm planning on eating throughout the hike. So other stuff I have, I got my paper camp shoes. These are the Z-Pack ultralight camp shoes. I really like these. It allows you kind of be able to walk around freely in the morning or in the middle of the night if you have to use the bathroom. So I really like these. These only weigh 2 ounces. So I'm happy about bringing these. I can justify bringing these versus the other ultralight options I've seen. And then this is my trowel. I use this for digging your cat hole. Remember, 6 inches. You gotta dig at least 6 inches, all right? And I've also used this as a water spigot too. So I really like this. I like how it's designed where, like, if you stick this into the mountain or like into the stream that's not really flowing that well, you can actually get some water coming off this and act like a spigot. So I do like this a lot versus the other ones. I haven't really used a lot of other ones. I found a really good one and I've been using it for years. I also keep my dirty water bag. This is the Ever New, and I've used this for many years. And I like to do the gravity system where you just go ahead and hang this, and you pair that up with your Sawyer water filter with this little top right here. This is the Sawyer coupler, and they really should advertise this a little bit more. This thing is phenomenal because all you have to do is just cinch this on, and then put your your clean water bottle, Smart Water, and it acts like a gravity system. You can walk away. Usually what I do is I look at the time that I'm working with, and if I'm like trying to make food, if I'm trying to like take a break, I'll make sure that there's a water source around me And then I'll go ahead and start my water filter system and just have the gravity just take care of everything. And well, I just go and do whatever I need to do. So it's kind of like just filtering your water without doing anything. So I prefer that method. And then on the outside, I also keep my tent stakes. I carry about 6 of them. If I lose one, I'll just grab some twigs or a rock and I'll just use that as a tent stake. I've had a lot of comments about saying, like, why do I use shepherd hooks? I just like the shepherd hooks because I don't like cleaning up the mess afterwards. When I take these out of the ground, I don't have all that mud and stuff connected to them, and I can just kind of wipe them off with my fingertips and then stick them back in here. So to me, it's just, I just like finding something that's easier. I don't like all the mess. And to me, I like, and this kind of goes with my whole system. When I backpack, I pack to make myself simple. Not so much like the light, not so much like what it can do for me, but if it's simple, that means I can enjoy it a little bit more. And right down to the tents. Zpacks, they make fantastic tents, and they're so easy to set up. When I was younger, growing up, I always would have like a nightmare trying to set up this huge tent with my dad. It would take like 2 or 3 people, and it was such a hassle. So I really wanted to get away from a hassle, and I really like something that's simple. I can actually enjoy myself a lot more. I know some people, when they get to camp, they spend hours trying to set up their stuff, and I don't like that. It just takes so much out of your experience. So in the pocket right here, now I got this little pocket from Zpacks. This is a waterproof Octa material, and it's waterproof. And you can just go ahead and tape these things on, almost like stickers. And I like it because I can have like in this little pocket, fast way for me to get my headlamp. I don't have to dig through anything. I have access right here. Now this doesn't come with the pack, so it's something that you have to buy separately. It only weighs a couple ounces, well, probably like a half an ounce. And I really like the pocket. I keep some extra chapstick in here, some hand sanitizer after use in the bathroom. I keep a penny for beer canisters. And I keep my little pocket knife. This is a Swiss Army knife. It has scissors that I use a lot. Not so much the blade. And it does have a toothpick and tweezers. And I have used the tweezers on certain like situations where like getting a thorn in you or a splinter. So I really like the tweezers too. So that's everything I keep inside this little pocket. And then if we go to the front, and if you don't know what pack this is one of my favorite packs that I've owned in my entire life. I own a bunch of different packs, but this is my favorite that I've been using. This is the Zpacks Super Nero, and it's waterproof. It's a frameless pack, and this is probably the main part that I like, this vest part. So you can order this with the vest, which I highly recommend, because what I like to do is I like to keep my water bottles up front, and it will go ahead and bring that weight, transfer that weight, instead of just from the sides and bringing you down. You actually have that weight out in front of you, which keeps you more balanced. I also keep my tripod out here. I forget how much this thing weighs. This is my second one owning this. I've owned a couple tripods, and this one, like some of those shots that I got on this trip right here was because of this, because I can go ahead and like cinch it around like a trekking pole or around a tree, and I can get those better shots. So I really like this right here. It weighs, I think, 2.5 ounces. I have another one that weighs like 1.5 ounces, but this, again, I go for something that is more practical, something that is a little bit easier, and this was just easier to use out in the field. So I like this. A little bit more about the front vest. It has little pockets up front, so you can put like your little garbage, like your micro trash. When you're done snacking, you can kind of put it in these little pockets. This also fits in the cell phone, but you can't really put your cell phone in here if you have a water bottle. So you kind of pick your poison. You want your water bottle? Ugh. Do you want your water bottle up here, or do you want your cell phone? You pick. But I decided to get these Hyperlight belt right here. It was like maybe like $25, $30, and this will give me that extra support on those long hikes. So when I'm out there walking and I want to give my shoulders a break, I can go ahead and cinch up the belt and kind of let my shoulders free a little bit more. And again, these pockets are big enough to put a cell phone, and I usually keep my mics in there. And this is kind of like an overkill for mics, but this is what I bring. It weighs about 4 ounces. It has 4 wireless mics, and this is the battery itself. So when I bring this, I know that I don't have to worry about running out of like microphones. And the other ones I have, they're very light, but I'm always like trying to charge them at night, and I just don't want to forget. This, I mean, if this one dies, I have 3 other ones, and then if I want to film with other people, I can go ahead and give them a couple mics and we can all have a conversation. So I like this. You can't find it on Amazon anymore. When I bought this, it was like $69, so like $70, and then they must have sold out really fast because they took the link off, so they don't offer these anymore. So that's what I have. Oh, and I keep a little thermometer out here. Adds on a little bit more weight, but it gives me like a little peace of mind, especially when I'm out there filming and I'm like, I can tell you like what the temperature is versus me like, I think it's cold out here. So it just gives me a peace of mind. Do I need it? No, but I'll bring it anyways. So, oh, and it comes with a nice little sit pad. You don't really have a frame. Put this up against your pack, and yeah, you're gonna start sweating a lot. So, but I like it. If you have like your food back here, it adds like a little cushion. And this also comes, well, if you see the straps right here, these are separate straps that you have to purchase on Zpacks, the roll top straps. I like this. It keeps your pack to last a lot longer versus snapping it like this. If you snap it like this right here, over time it's going to start wrinkle. So if you have it come down and have it flowed like this, like how smooth it is, and then snap in, it's going to keep this material from like cracking and breaking and getting leaks in it. So we're going to open this up, and I'm just going to pull off what I have like on top. So this is the Enlighten tent right here. This is the Zpacks tent that I took. Now, I wasn't trying to bring this tent right here because I am going on my backpacking trip this coming week, and I wanted to kind of have like a nice little bunch of gear that I was going to take out and just kind of give me that final peace of mind of like, this is the correct gear. So I ended up bringing this tent, which I do love this tent. I have over a couple thousand miles with this tent. I've had this since 2019, and I've done it with a Thru-Hike. I love this tent. I think it has a little leak in it though, because whenever it rains towards like my feet area, I always have like a little water that comes in. I don't know if it's because of the mesh, and it comes like way it comes like in like the bathtub, but I still recommend this. They stopped making this kind, and this is actually smaller than the tent that I'm going to be using, which is the Zpacks Solo. It's like Plex Solo Light or something like that. It weighs like 12 ounces. This weighs 14 ounces, and it's a little bit bigger. But I do like this. Recommend it, but you can't find it on the market anymore. It was because they had like this little roof with it, and the roof, like, they came with these little tent like roof stuff, and it actually punctured holes It actually did to this tent twice. I taped them up, and then on my Colorado Thru-Hike, I just decided this is awesome. I didn't need them. Next is my air mattress. This is the air mattress that I'm going to be bringing. This is the ThermaRest, and I like this. I was debating about bringing my smaller one because Atlanta has been so warm. Like it's actually pretty hot. Like you can go outside just in a t-shirt and be fine. You're actually almost too hot. But when I looked up like what the temperatures were, like Rowan Mountain and stuff, it said it was going to chance of snow on Tuesday. So I remember a couple weeks ago where my feet were freezing because I decided to take this smaller version, which is like 3/4 of a length, and this is the full length. So I will be taking this one for that hike because I do want that extra warmth on my feet. This is my food bag. We'll go over my food bag in just a moment. And I'll pull out. I will try to pull this out anytime now. So I don't bring a stuff sack. I just put everything in this little poly bag. And this is going to be waterproof. Let's see. Looks like there's some scratches. Maybe I need to update this. But this right here is pretty much a strong garbage bag. And I keep all my clothes in here. So actually, we'll look at the food bag first. This is Zpacks Food Bag. And this is kind of a thicker material. Jeez, I can't even speak. I like this. I've been using it for many years. And I go with the old bear line method. And the bear line I usually keep right in my food bag. This is the Big Sky International. If you've seen my channel, I've used this thing for years. I'm trying to think how many years I used it. This was probably 2017. I saw some YouTuber, and he wasn't even talking about this. This is something that he had displayed, and I looked it up. I like the specs. It weighed like 1.5 ounces. Now mine's a little dirty, so it weighs a little bit more. But phenomenal. I've been using this for many years. Saves me a ton of food. Saves me a ton of money and weight. So inside Big Sky International, I keep my Sea to Summit spoon. Weighs just a couple ounces. I like the plastic ones. I have titanium. I just don't like the teeth and the metal. And then I also don't like if you're stirring anything inside your pot, that scraping noise. So I prefer the plastic. Maybe even if I found like a light wood or bamboo stick, maybe I would go ahead and switch. But this works well for me. And I don't need a spork. This is just a spoon. I keep some fire starters just in case. This is just cotton balls. Jeez, I can't speak today. Maybe I just had too much caffeine. So cotton balls with some Vaseline works phenomenal. You get like a burn time of about 3 minutes per cotton ball. Carry a small extra lighter. My toothbrush with my toothpaste right in here in a small little Z-Pack style. And you might ask yourself, well, I probably only get maybe like a week out of this, which is true. But I just refill it up. You can kind of like this push more toothpaste right inside. So for the weekends, this is perfect. If I was through hiking, I'd probably just buy one of those like small little like toothpaste containers. I am struggling today. I'm so sorry. This is some Zant line. This is what I use to hang up my bear food. And I recommend everyone to use this line right here. Paracord, this does not work. There's so many times when I'm out there backpacking and I see paracord hanging in those trees. It gets tangled because it's like this string with a fabric around the string. And when you throw that over a tree, the tree has bark and little things that come out and it gets tangled up. This right here is just the string. and it almost has like a little plastic, and it's small too. I've never had this get stuck on a tree. So please use the Zing It. It's strong too. It has like a, I want to say like a couple 100 pounds of pressure. So it's not like it can hold your food, okay? If you have multiple food bags hanging on this, you're gonna need someone to like help push it up, because when you pull it, it is kind of hard to pull. And then I just have a nice little carabiner on this with a, it's like the night size or night size, I don't know. Anyways, I use this. I could probably get a smaller version, but that's what I bought. And this is my cook set. And this is the cook set that I'm going to be using. I was going to go and use an alcohol stove. Try to go ultralight on this backpacking trip that I have coming up. But the cold weather just does not work well with my alcohol stove. And when I get to camp, I want to just go ahead and boil some water and kind of walk away and just do my own thing. The whole thing that I was talking about in the beginning, I don't like to struggle when I'm out there backpacking. I want everything to be easy. If it's easy, I enjoy it. I don't want to be sitting there trying to do this alcohol stove or a wood burning stove, and you're sitting there for 15, 30, then 45 minutes go by and you still don't even have a boil. So that's why I decided to bring the canister. So bringing some gas, I filled this thing up. This is pretty full now. And I used the BRS camp stove. Highly recommend. Only weighs less than an ounce, very light. And then I keep my lighter all inside. So that's everything that I keep out here. I also keep my battery stuff inside my bear bag. And I bring 2 night cores. These weigh about like 5.5 ounces. They're expensive, but they're the lightest version that I can get. And I'm using a new cord, very similar to the one that I used in my last other videos. This one right here is a C to C. And from the research that I read, if you have the same connection, C to C, there's less energy being lost. So you can transfer more data, you got more energy transferring, and it's just more efficient. So that's why I decided to go C to C. And then I still have this adapter, which weighs hardly nothing. So I like this. In this video, this trip video, really didn't get to see me display too much of this right here, mainly because it died on me. So every single time I went to go film with it, it died. I am taking this with me. It weighs 1.2 ounces. I like it. It's a nice little selfie. I can go ahead and put this on my camera thing that I'm using right now, and I can go ahead and like film myself like in the dark. I'm just hoping that this won't die on me like throughout the whole trip. I don't want to be messing around with this all day long. Like, it needs to work. But we'll see if it works on this long hike that I'm doing. I'll probably have to recharge it. But again, if it ends up being too much of a hassle, it's just going to be getting thrown away. We're not going to do something that I'm going to have to recharge every single day that I'm using it. That's nonsense. Okay, let me pick up all this stuff, and then we can go over what's in my clothes and the other stuff. Okay, so this is my giant stuff sack that I use for keeping all my clothes and sleeping bag. Anything that I want dry, I keep in this bag right here. So not just that I use my backpack as a water protection, I also use this as my other water protection. I don't have individual stuff sacks. I kind of got rid of doing the stuff sacks just because it took a little bit more effort for me to stuff everything in, and this seems way faster. So starting off with this right here. This is a Zpacks Octaf Fleece. This material, I have been loving this material. And on the hike that you just saw me do, I actually took this and I wanted to test it in the rain and see like what the dry factor was, what the warmth factor was, and that's what I did. So I was happy to actually test this out. I could have put on a rain jacket, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of me testing out this right here. So this weighs only like 5 ounces. It has a nice little warm fuzz in it that will be nice against your skin, and that is actually what keeps you nice and warm. And the breathability is that it's made up with this mesh. You can actually see my hand right through this, and I like this because it also has your little kangaroo pouch in here. So like if you're out there hiking, you can go ahead and put your hands right inside the kangaroo pouch, and it has those little thumb holders. So I really do like this. It is expensive. It's like $100, but you know, if you're out there backpacking and this is what you're using every single day, it's definitely worth it because this is high quality material right here. Really like it. And I liked it so much that I bought the pants along with it. This is the Zpacks Octa camp pants, and it's the same design with the little fuzz, and it has little pockets, so you can put your cell phone or put your hand in your pockets while you're out there hiking. It has good enough little what is this called? Elastics that you can go ahead and pull it up on your leg without the pant leg falling down. So I like these. These kept me really warm, and throughout the video you can also tell that it also dried very fast. And this is why I'm really digging this material. This dry fit shirt that I have on, this right here stays wet and it gets heavy. Like when you're out there hiking, you'll notice like if it gets wet a little bit, you're almost like hiking with this damp shirt all the time and sticky, and and it's not breathable. Like I can't stand. I wish that they came out with a better, not so much like, I just want something that dries faster. I've tried doing the wool. Wool takes a long time for it to dry, and I'm always sweating. When I'm out there backpacking, I sweat a lot, especially on my back because of the backpack right on it. So I want something that's super breathable, and these pants are so breathable. When the wind blows by, you can feel the air coming right through. There's been some nights where it's actually been too cold, where I've had to wear these and then put on my wind pants and actually act as a windbreaker to keep the warmth in, because that's how breathable this is. But I would love to find something, and at times I think like, do I want to wear cotton? I know cotton is like forbidden, but the breathability is so nice. Like even right now, I'm talking in this room and I just feel heat stuck in this area. And also with the pants too, like these shorts, it just traps a lot of heat inside. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what the best solution is for t-shirts and my hiking pants. They dry fast. I get it. And the dirt really doesn't stay on the stuff. It kind of goes right off. And it lasts for a long time. But there has to be something better out there. Something a little bit more breathable, because I sweat too much. Enough with that. I could probably do like a whole video on this material, why you shouldn't wear it. But yet, I still wear it because I can't find any other option for it. And this right here, really didn't get to see this that much, but it goes on most of my trips. I wasn't planning on bringing the TIMMERMADE puffy hoodie, and I am taking it because it is going to be colder this next coming trip. So I want to make sure that I'm nice and toasty, and I don't want to freeze at nighttime. This is the warmest jacket I have. It's like 900 fill. Very light, weighs a little over 6 ounces for a hoodie, for a puffy, which is ridiculous. Now, to get this right here, it's tough to get. When you go on the website from TIMMERMADE, he makes all this stuff right here. So it's in the sizes, can vary. So make sure that you look up the size, because I bought a rain jacket medium and it's almost too small. That's why you don't see it in my videos, because it goes down to my belly. I want stuff to at least go down like past my pants, like my pant line. So I like it, but you gotta really look at the sizes, because it's not your typical sizes. It's sizes that he makes. He makes everything. I mean, it is the best clothing company that you can find for backpacking. Like, this guy is brilliant when it comes to making ultralight stuff. I mean, a Cuban fiber rain jacket, I've always dreamed of that, and he makes it. So I carry an extra pair of camp socks, just some wool. I didn't have to wear them during this trip, but I always bring an extra pair, because if you're hiking and if your feet are wet at nighttime, it's always good to hop in some nice dry ones. And then if my socks are wet in the morning, I just put on the wet ones. That's just what I do. Buff. I didn't use this buff. I used my other buff, but this is the one I'm packing for my next trip. This weighs 0.2 ounces more. So it's the same thing. This one is just made out of wool. I want something a little bit more warm. Gloves. I always bring smart wool gloves. Weigh a couple ounces. I am bringing this pillow right here, and this is the Sea to Summit pillow, and you don't have to spend the $50 on this pillow. On Amazon you can find the same pillows for like 15, 20 bucks, and they weigh about the same, and I've used both of them. So, like, depending on what you want to buy, you know, if you want to spend 50 bucks, this is what I bought, and then, you know, like, you have 30 days to return it, and then after 30 days, so you keep it. So that's why I kept this. And it's small too. I don't recommend just using this right here. This doesn't work for me unless I have other stuff to put behind my head. So, like, you can see that I took my pack and put it underneath my air pad to kind of give me a little bit more loft, because I just need that next space. I bet you kind of understand what I'm talking about. It's hard for me to explain it, but I'm sure that you understand. This is the Octa Zpacks Fleece hat. Now, I don't really wear hats. Usually I just wear like the ear stuff, but this weighs like 0.6 ounces. So I'm bringing this along on my trips. It doesn't add a lot of warmth unless you put something over it, because it's so breathable. All this hot air goes out. So when I wear this at nighttime, I like to put a hoodie over it, okay? You are going to get some warmth out of it, but again, all this Octa material is super breathable. And you got to cut down the wind. That is the one thing. Like, cut down the wind, it's going to be super warm. If you allow the wind, it's going to be super breathable, but yeah. You know, you can also notice that it's pretty big. A lot bigger than I typically use. Like, it almost goes past my eyes. And it's a little bit big for me. I got a small head. But it works. And then the last thing that I have is the Hammock Gear 20-degree barrel. And I love this. You can still see how much loft it has. I've been using it for over 5 years now. And I love this quilt. And if you don't know how quilts work, it's kind of like a sleeping bag, but it doesn't go all the way around your back. And the quilts, the reason why they weigh so light is because you're taking out all that extra material. And the way that they work is, like, you have this airspace. So it's not the material. Like, if you compress this material, it's not going to add that much warmth. But with the airspace, when you go ahead and put like a little loft on you, like a 3-4 inch loft on you, that's where that airspace is gonna stay within you and keep you super toasty. And I can't see through this thing. It's great. So please do your research before buying your sleeping bag. I don't do sleeping bags anymore. It's just a waste of material, waste of weight, and it does take time to practice using these things, but once you figure out how to use them and sleep in them, because they can be uncomfortable and they're not as warm, but you're saving a lot, and if you learn how to sleep in them, you're gonna become a better backpacker. So this is Coach Bill 3 and 5, and thanks for watching this long video. And next week, hopefully when you see this video, I will be out there backpacking, doing my 100 miles through the Appalachian Trail, and I will hopefully have a pack weight of under 10 pounds, which is kind of my main goal. I wanted to go a little bit lighter, but unfortunately, I can't go lighter because of the temperatures. We're still looking at about 10, 15 degree weather, which is very cold. Water can freeze at that level, and I can freeze at that level. So warmth is a huge factor. But again, thanks again for watching this video. And if you like this kind of video, like where I'm out here backpacking and I'm talking about different gear and stuff, and this adventure type stuff, and this is like a new model that I'm trying to go with, because I enjoy talking about gear, and I also like filming what I'm doing out there. So if you like this kind of style video, let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. Again, this is Coach Bill 3 and 5, and
Yeah, buddy. Subscribe!